So another military officer has also perished. I know when we make these announcements, people that we are exaggerating. It's just like any other normal deaths. But deaths in Zimbabwe, I must undertake to say that they are not normal, especially of the military personnel. And I'm speaking about senior military personnel. According to the announcement about 34 minutes ago, it announced that Colonel Gift Makazabo, a senior military National Army officer, has died. He was 54. Colonel Makazabo died at Mater Dei Hospital in Bulawayo. The Zimbabwe National Army has announced. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. From 2017 up to date, about more than 150 senior military officers have died in Zimbabwe, and announcements being made through state media. From colonel, from brigadier generals, we are seeing a well choreographed and strategic elimination of senior military officers. Of course, recently there was an accident of junior military officers, but the number of military officers that have died from 2017 up to date, you would think that even in a war, someone was saying, even in a war situation in Ukraine, they cannot lose such a number of military personnel within a space of years that we are talking about. Then that will automatically translate to a defeat of that particular military. So in a letter written to that has been publicized by ZBC. In Zimbabwe, if a military officer dies, and these days they don't actually mention a lot of details because they have seen that they actually generate a lot of actually speculation, particularly on social media. So the letter was addressed to the news editor, that is for ZBC, dated, corrected with a pen. In fact, there was a date that was put, and that date has to be corrected because the day, this is very, very suspicious. You make pronouncement of a senior military officer. There is a specific the date that this announcement was made. It was way before, most probably died, and then they had to correct it. Even the stamp. And one will ask, why would they not actually print out a proper document, which means it's sort of like a pre-planned date that by this time this person would have died because they cancelled. As you can see, I'm not making this up. I hope, but let me just switch off my camera light. It's not clear. I don't know, this front camera view of mine is disappointing me. But if you look at this letter, the statement, the date is cancelled, and they had to put 28, and also on the stamp again, the date is cancelled, and it's written, a senior Zimbabwe National Army officer dies. And then it says, the Zimbabwe National Army regrets to announce the untimely death of Colonel Gift Makazabo. Colonel Makazabo passed away on 27 August 2026 at Mater Dei Hospital in Bulawayo. He was 54. The late Colonel Makazabo is survived by wife Sophia Dera and 4 children. Mourners gathered at house now. The house is mentioned in Koba, that is in Kwero. More details on burial arrangement would be announced in due course. It was issued, the signature was PP'd by Hlengiwe Dube, but it's not Hlengiwe Dube that wrote this. So Hlengiwe Dube, there is someone who signed on behalf of Hlengiwe Dube. Hlengiwe Dube, who happens to be Colonel for Commander ZNA, who happens to be the spokesperson of the commander. It's quite suspicious. The date that was written here was cancelled. It looks like, okay, we're expecting him to die on this day, but he died on another day, so we cancel it. And the state media just publishing this later. You know, when you do something, there are minor mistakes that you fail to actually correct, which exposes that there is something fishy here. How can the whole Zimbabwe Defense Forces is actually a state institution? They have got a printer, and if they have made a mistake, they can actually, it's a simple correction, correcting the mistake, and also instead of correcting the dates on the stamp, you just adjust your stamp, you properly stamp the letter, because it is going to be consumed by the members of the public. And if this letter, if you check, I've just put this letter also on the portrait of this live broadcast, you will check that the date was corrected. There is in fact, even a 2 appears to be corrected with a pen, and also on the stamp is corrected to make 28, which means there was a written. So this letter appears to have been typed way before someone dies. Just imagine you are announcing the death of a certain person. You are a head of a state institution. The date is actually before the actual death of a person, and the letter is written before the actual communication. This on its own is very, very suspicious and unprofessional. Today is the 28th, so that the letter appears to have been written today. You know, a lot is happening in Zimbabwe. I must actually attest to you. More and more military personnel dying. We can barely pass a month without a senior military personnel actually losing his life in Zimbabwe. Is this a coincidence? Or there is a hand behind this? And definitely, if you think that this is just happening in Zimbabwe, then you should be crazy. If maybe, why is it only military personnel? And these deaths are announced, senior military personnel, not actually senior prison officers, senior members of the Zimbabwe Republic Police, because the military determines who eventually takes over power. And when the succession drum is still actually making noise, definitely we expect such things to happen in the military state. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please remember to press the red or black subscribe button, so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by